What's up?
Yes, he said missiles.
Missiles.
Nice, pulling your leg.
Yeah,
Dude,
Check out
that was the best
latest
part of
post.
that. That was the best part of that whole night. Out of all that shit, it was the best part was missiles.
Check out the latest ice shooting, bro. You're not gonna believe it. My last post.
Dude, I don't watch shit like that, bro. I don't like seeing people get hurt and shit.
I hear you. Well, then check out the top one there. The Europe is demanding their gold back. They just dumped 9 billion in treasuries. That's right, Larry. I'm afraid that's correct, brother. But they won't listen to me. Maybe they'll hear you, being a proud American as you are.
super proud.
Hey, good timing. Look who's here, Montreal. So I had prepared a little speech, but I don't want to interrupt.
Go ahead, bro.
So I play real-time strategy games like Age of Empires 4 and grew up on StarCraft and PC gaming, right? So when I'm at war with someone, right, the first thing I want to do is, obviously send a little recon, then find their resources, then attack them. And that's what Trump is doing right now with Venezuela. He's kind of cutting off oil to Asia. And then Iran also. If we go to war with Iran, they're going to cut off the Strait of Hormuz, and it's like 50% of the oil to Asia through that little pathway. So I guess this guy who I just posted, he's saying that they're drawing Asia out into the Middle East to fight over there because we can't defeat Asia in their home territory. So we're cutting them off their supply lines, which is, what you do in every single war. Like you cut communications, you cut supply lines, anything that you could cut that's a life support system to the army, you cut it. Except for most people, don't kill the fields in real life. The people working the fields aren't your enemy unless you're like a psychopath, and then you go kill them. So in real life, I wouldn't do that, but real life is different, right? So yeah, this is all acts of war because I recognize it because I do it in my free time. That's all I got. Thanks.
I hear that, and you just mentioned two of my favorite games. But what happens if you don't have the force enough to make that attack?
Well, there's different ways to wage war, like the Jesuit oath says, right? Secretly or openly, with force or with financial, with oppression and suppression. So, I mean, there's a book called Quiet Weapons for Quiet Wars. There's all kinds of ways to do omnilateral warfare, I guess. Like, there's so many ways. Financial seems to be the biggest one, right? We all know about people that have had, lawfare and sanctions, and like, look at Venezuela before, all this happened. They had severe sanctions. They weren't allowed to trade. So, yeah, we've been waging war on Venezuela for years.
You sure have been waging war, and thank you for the indirect promotion to what you're doing. It's so sincere.
What? Indirect promotion? What are you talking about, dude? You lost me with that statement. I don't understand. You think I'm promoting war? Because if that's what you're insinuating, then that's definitely not the case. I'm only for self-defense. And if someone calls that war, they've mislabeled it. That's the only kind of quote unquote war that I'm for, if you could call it that. Because to me, self defense is totally different than an act of war. Does anybody here disagree?
Well, depends on how you make self-defense.
If you punch me in the nose and I'll break your collarbone so you don't do that again, is that self defense? If I hammer fist your collarbone, just one strike, and you back up, and then we both walk away. If I hammer fist your collarbone, is that self defense?
You don't need to get so violent. You sure can.
No, I'm not threatening you, bro. I'm talking about hypotheticals. Nobody's getting violent. Oh my god. Go ahead, bro.
You sure can become deluded to think that you are to be in a line of defense. Hashtag Christian apologetics.
Bro, I don't think I'm your opponent. I'm not arguing Christianity right now. There's other rooms for that.
Well, I don't think the guys arguing for Christianity really are Christians, even.
I can't disagree with that. That's certainly true sometimes.
You know, it's a good costume to use to create a scapegoat in case you know, your underpinning religion needs to be kept safe in some way or some other.
Have you got any views, opposing view, or are you just trying to attack the person rather than the topic?
No, this is not attack on a person. This is just reflecting upon more deeper things that are happening in life.
Yeah, but you didn't disagree or agree. You just came in like with like some weird
False dichotomy. Okay, so you attempting to like socially normalize this room to do a fight or a flight or something?
No,
That's
we're
really
just
weird.
trying to stay like on topic. That's all.
You sure are trying, so why just don't you?
It's not me trying. It's you trying to like move the topic away from what it was.
That's not true at all. That's you attempting to insinuate me with actions I do not actually commit.
Are you a robot?
No, I'm just this perfectly coherent. Thank you for the compliment, though.
Can we stay on track? Larry, how do you see it? Do you believe that cutting off resources and, oh, there's my pizza. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, I gotta get some pizza too. Sorry, guys. I'm not gonna get a pizza. Sorry, guys.
What kind of pizza did you get, SC? Get pineapple and ham. You might not be listening.
Let him have his pizza. While we go back to the topic between the guy and the facility, who is like a preaching piece for violence. That if you find out a way to become in the defense of the acts committed, that it being violence, now you are perfectly, at least supposedly, in the moral right to commit violence or so. You know, if you can only create a story that makes you a fucking victim so you can go cry wolf and then like attempt to like kill wolf and then you are the wolf in the sheep's cloth, then you know you gotta really, really, really sound moral belief system right there. And that was hyperbole for the turds that aren't able to track. SC, why did you kill the chat by going to get your pizza, dude? Come on. You killed the live stream with your pizza, SC. Why are you getting a pizza?
Sorry, guys, I gotta sign off. Duty calls. There's a nice pizza here. And by the way, you asked me what kind of pizza I got. I'll be brief. We call it all dressed here.
Cosmic ping pong pizza you got.
We got.
Cagliari
I'll give you a fast rundown: pepperoni, mushrooms, green peppers, bacon, and cheese.
Nice. Sounds like good pizza. See, hope you enjoy it, brother.
Thanks.
Yeah, let's really hope it's a real pizza. Too bad I can never get to know SC in person. You know, he's not sharing any pictures. We never get to see him. He's never showing his name. We don't know where he's from. It's kind of hard to actually, you know, get any evidence of what he's doing.
It's pretty creepy, man, that you're wanting to like know people's personal information, personal images.
It's only creepy for the guy who is fearful of being known. Meaning, if you have anything to hide, then it's creepy.
No.
For you.
No, it's common sense.
No, it's not common sense. It's only common sense by the guys who has something to hide and are afraid of transparency. That's when it's not creepy. It's feared. It's fearful. It's scary. For the little boys that are doing and playing with little toys.
What do you want to tell yourself, buddy?
Yeah, well, I am official. I'm a public person. I exist in the world.
You're one of them people that talks all the time and wants people to think that he's somebody he's not, because you're so insecure that you worry about little things that most people, real men, don't even consider or think about.
Yeah, that's a good way to make a silly little drama about who I am that I'm not, because that was so beautiful poetry. Thank you for adding such a hateful description to my being, which I am not at all.
Okay.
Thank you for your hate spoken towards my being. It was such a beautiful... I received the love between every spoken hated word that you had.
You're welcome.
God bless you. God bless you.
See, this is the type of person you are. You come on, you spoke nothing but hate when I said some people don't want to reveal themselves. But then as soon as I said something back, oh no, I'm the victim all of a sudden. You spoke hate.
I'm not the victim. I'm not the victim. You just started creating all this drama. Just shut up, dude. And God bless you. Forgive him for his sins, because he has committed atrocities.
I'm just curious, has this guy been acting weird?
Yeah.
Has this guy been acting weird this whole time?
Yeah, he wanted you to, he said that you was like something other because you wouldn't give him, or no, he said he couldn't get to know you because you wouldn't give him your personal details. You wouldn't show him your picture, your real face. You wouldn't give him your real name. You wouldn't like all this crazy stuff. And I said, that's pretty creepy to want all that personal stuff from someone. Like a lot of people like to keep their private lives private. Then he said that shows that you're scared and afraid and everything else because you won't put out all of your public stuff for everyone to see.
So this guy doesn't know the difference between public and private. You know, that's pretty retarded for you to not know the difference. You know, private stays in the private and the two shall never mix, like oil and water. That's just natural law. Do you not know that, bro?
I think
literally.
I hear you tremble in your voice right now.
We have a talk with Gio on every Friday that we all have to have a vote and get rid of someone for a whole week, like ban them for a week. And every Friday, it's find out who we're going to ban. That'll be so much fun.
It's a real way to lose a lot of people.
Yeah, no, but that's a really good
just
way
one
to
person
protect your own asinine worldview and fucking circle jerk. You guys should do that. That's how you truly can have your own religious community fully on, board with everything everyone's saying. And it's obviously so freedom of speech and not infringing on human rights by impeaching thereupon. So it's truly an Earth's awakening if you do that. Please, that would be beautiful, and God would bless and love you all for doing such things.
The whole idea
Who hurt you, bro?
is to have conversations that are sort of like back and forth and understandable with respect. And if you don't respect the conversation, I think you should just get kicked out.
I am totally on board with that. Everyone should learn to respect.
I don't think you got too many fans up in here, bro.
Can you respect me enough to continue the fake drama insinuating that I don't have friends?
No, I was saying in here. I don't know what you got going on in real life.
Can you please stop being disrespectful? Did you not hear this guy, the gentleman good vibes, who wants good vibes? So if you're going to continue being disrespectful, I think you need to be banned for a week. We should pull a vote.
Yeah, who wants to ban me? Speak up now. It's okay. I won't retaliate. Who wants to ban me?
Don't worry, it's not Friday yet.
Yeah, we should respect you enough to ban you for a week. That's the supreme logic right there, the standard. And you're not judgmental at all for saying such things. You are completely free of sin, and you have walked the lands that you shall reap and kill, or something like that.
I'll make a deal with you guys. If two of you can say that you don't want me to come back for a week, I literally won't come back for a week. Just two people.
I want you to stay here. I think you're pretty cool dude.
Yeah, I try to, say nice things and attack arguments and not say mean things and attack arguments. I'm not perfect at it, but I do try.
When you do come back, though, will you quit with the voice changer? It's kind of good to leave that behind.
I will never use a voice changer, ever.
It sounded like you understood that it was needed to be said, but it didn't sound sincere. Why is that?
Because I don't use voice changers, dumbass. You couldn't suss that out?
Why are you fake laughing right now?
Oh, those are deep, hearty chuckles. Every fat man recognizes that noise.
So you're fat.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
Well,
what are you from, like Eastern Bloc? Have you only heard like people talk with like their ribs showing and whatnot? I mean, what's going on, bro?
it could be. Yeah, I personally barely know anyone that is fat or obese or big. Actually, my boss is, but he's not speaking like you are, or has that kind of characterized laughter as you projected onto the mass, or the generalized, or as a generalized way of the laughter being by the big guys.
So here's projected laughter. Like what you heard a second ago was a deep, hearty, natural chuckle that can't be faked.
Yeah, but it can be an insecure, deep, heartfelt chuckle.
Oh, hey guys, you think it's a nervous?
Topic? Is there a real topic?
Not with this guy. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah,
no, just like these days,
that.
like even more so, like the propensity for these like kind of like looping, bickering things, because this is the thing about the personal attacks. Someone does it, it's like someone gets punched, the other guy wants to punch him back, 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 and we just end up listening to two people fighting. and trying to get the one up on I got the last insult or whatever. It's been happening a lot lately. It's difficult to mod for because the mod has to step in and say, hey guys, can we redirect it? And the thing is that generally people don't want to not have the last word of having the last little personal dig. And then it can just loop on and on and on. That's why we mod for it, because we would never have conversations about truth or anything valuable if we don't mod for it, because there's always going to be two or more people that are going to be doing the kind of bickering, fighting, personal attack thing. And it seems like I just got back like 3 minutes ago, so I don't know how long this has been going on for or what, but it's obviously unproductive and so on. So can we somehow get on something?
Well, I would recommend that you go back and listen to like maybe the past 10 or 15 minutes. Maybe a little longer than that. I brought up geopolitics. I interrupted SE Montreal to do so, tried to start a conversation about Iran and stuff, and then this guy started talking about me, I guess. I did have to go. I was at work. So I left for a minute and came back, and I was hearing that he was trying to get me to dox myself. I don't know if any of that's true, because I wasn't here for that, but that's what I heard.
Yeah, it was definitely true.
Fabrication. No,
that's
not
not
what happened.
Exactly what happened, because I'm the one that told him what you said.
Not at all what happened. This is dogpiling, fake drama.
Okay.
And yeah, everything I said just now was not indefensible. I did, do a few jabs. I got to admit, I don't like this guy. When let's just say I get what I give. And, I usually don't do that unless somebody does something to me first. So I may have overreacted to a perceived slight. But that's my personality, self-defense. I think I was even talking about that earlier.
Maybe go on mute so we can get the VC going. Because it may not happen if you're going to continue this.
Well, if you keep making this fake drama about how I am the killer of the VC, which is what you are talking about just earlier, the big problem of just making.
All right, let's go on, guys. Carry on. Blair, what were you saying before when I did kind of come in and interrupt with that? What were you saying before? Do you remember?
Yeah, first I was talking about geopolitics, and he kind of insinuated that I was like somehow promoting war because I play video games like Age of Empires and grew up on StarCraft, and he was kind of insinuating some weird stuff. And then I had to go back to work, and I was really busy for a moment, and I lost quite a bit of the conversation, maybe about 5 minutes or more. And I came back and I said, was this guy being weird? And I did get some confirmation bias that he was indeed being weird while I was gone. And a gentleman told me on here that he was trying to get me to dox myself, which is extremely weird because I'm just talking about war. And then I talked about self-defense. And I think he accused me of being violent. Like, that's not how I was raised. That's, okay, you might consider that violence. After you punch me in the nose and I hit you back. To me, that's not violence. That's self-defense. That's justifiable violence, which is different than just attacking someone. And he said, don't be violent. And I was like, what? Like, I don't know. It's like he was insinuating that like I was threatening him or something when it was the hypothetical you, if you attack me and I hammer fist your collarbone to make you think twice about that, and then you stop and I stop, that's justifiable self-defense. That's how I was raised. I can't not do that. And sometimes I do it verbally. Sometimes I choose not to. Depending on how much sleep I've had, I might, fire back a little bit, lose a little self-control. That's just me.
He literally said that he couldn't get to know you. This is what he said. He said he couldn't get to know you. because you refuse to put your real name. You refuse to show an image of yourself or live stream your face. He said you refuse to put any information. So
Actually, he was talking about SE.
talking about who?
Talking about SE, Montreal. He was saying he'd really love to see his face, to see who he's talking to, and he doesn't know why he doesn't put his picture
I thought
on.
he was talking about Larry, because Larry left to go get a pizza.
Your mic went out, Carlos. Your mic is like really.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's better.
Yeah, the whole time he was talking.
I did come in and interrupt SE, but dude, your mic sucks. We can't even understand you.
I understand what he's saying, and he's saying that I was talking about SE, which is correct. I was indeed talking to SE Montreal, mentioning his name. So I'm not sure why you thought that my directed retort towards SE was directed at you. You took it personally. Like, this is the second time now. So you took that personally. And then earlier you also made this delusional thought about what I did, etc. And for some reason, I can never get an apology.
No, let me clear
But
that up.
I am the official punching bag for everyone.
You
And now
bring
you're
that
going
on
to say that
yourself.
that's
You bring
victim
that on yourself,
manipulation.
brother. But
No, that's actually you delusional making that. You make.
Tell me when you're
into
done,
that.
and then I'll speak. Go ahead.
Yeah, you make me into the punching bag by you not able to track along with what's being said.
Are you done?
Because in that process, you create all these delusions that you, again, after time and time again, project onto me all the fucking time. This is why I am so frustrated, because no one's actually able to keep track with that. No one actually, or actually very few, come into my defense. And instead, the gossiped fake drama keeps on spiraling.
I
And
try
that's what
helping
you
you
want to
out,
promote
Siak, when
instead.
I can, dude. But I don't know, man. Like you always want to separate yourself in some weird way, and it like makes it very difficult to come try to help you when you're like doing that. So try to find more commonality, more common ground, and try to be more relatable, dude. Right? Instead of so distinguishable to the point where no one can distinguish you because you're so indistinguishable.
It wasn't it had nothing to do with who it is, and if I got two guys confused, then I apologize for that. The point I was making to you when I said no one should have to show their personal picture or give their real name or anything else. Some people like privacy, and then you immediately started name calling, saying people that don't do that are scared, and you started all this name calling of people who like to keep their privacy together. The point I was making to you is that people shouldn't have to dox themselves just because they want to come on here and talk to people, and you shouldn't be calling people names and everything else just because they don't want to dox themselves.
Okay,
if Cole triggered you, Siak, I completely understand. But if Larry triggered you, that's where I'm drawing a disconnection. Because Larry's generally very cordial, respectful, and promotes the truth, man. So I don't know.
Okay, so Cole, thank you for your apology, although you're not really in that.
Well, that wasn't an
it's not
apology.
necessary. Well, you did say apologies. And then now you said it's not an apology, so, well, that's contradictory. Anyhow, I did not attempt to dox anyone. First and foremost,
Well, how you doing?
just establish that.
I just need a signature real quick. While you're getting that, I'll get this ready.
You getting so defensive about just wanting to, see your face or something, that's not doxing. And also, well, first and foremost, that was never my intention. That's not what I said. And when you're saying name calling, that's actually false. I was describing the felt sensation of people who usually don't dare to actually reveal who they are or just be themselves. So I wasn't name calling anyone. I was actually describing. I'm actually a social scientist. So I'm very well educated in knowing what emotions, sensations, states of beings people are in. in specific environments through
What
specific
do you call the word
experiences.
coward then? Because you said coward several times. You said people are cowards that won't show that, and they're scared and they hide and everything else. What do you call that if that's not name calling?
You're reducing it to name calling. I'm describing.
Okay, but
So you reducing a topic of conversation, that being the description towards why people do something, which is a topic in of itself, it's actually a social
Is my mic
scientific topic.
Check,
You
check. Is my mic?
Yeah, it's working.
Yeah.
Redirecting.
Scientists, social scientists, you should understand all types of etiquette, especially online Discord chats. You should be able to fit
Yeah,
into
could
a
you not
conversation.
interrupt me when I'm speaking?
You should be able to fit into a
Thank you for your respectful interruption when I was making a good point. That was
It was not a
prominent.
good point, man. Just a total
Okay,
monologue.
that's you again projecting your own emotional hit piece as a punching
claim
bag onto me because you are dissatisfied.
Know how to act in public.
No, you are thinking that you have to do that because you have this line of defense thinking
All right,
where
man,
you
hold
think you
on.
are being attacked.
Everyone take 5. Everyone take 5. Thank you.
Please save us.
My God.
So
No, take 5, dude. You were one of the people I told to take 5. What do we got, Dice Low?
I don't know, man.
I heard you guys talking about the freezing water test. Did that get anywhere?
No, Cole has a major apprehension for common sense.
right.
Nah, it checks out.
Well, when I
I
said
just
get anywhere,
didn't-
I just meant was there any progression in the discussion of it?
Nope.
I mean, obviously, people who think it's
I tried granting him all sorts of bends and presumptions, but it wasn't good enough. He still wants to hold the facts that I've already conceded to as being some sort of argumentative point of contention. It's just weird.
When you don't fundamentally understand the what the material is going to do to begin with, then you're not going to understand, any of it.
Yeah. Well, again, I've already conceded to material not having enough rigidity, being elasticity or tensile strength to support its own weight under tension. That's not what we're arguing about. I've eliminated that through the buoyancy of ice and water and rotated at 9 degrees, right, to compare the two surfaces, and already given you another bend and another opposing axis, but still doesn't diminish the fact of the relationship between the two halves of the surfaces. You don't seem to get that. I don't know, man.
There's no getting to it. This don't work.
Well, Gio, if you could try, I would appreciate it because I've lost a lot of patience.
Well, I mean, the cool thing about it is that doing a test like this really doesn't matter what someone else thinks. We can just do it and show it, and that's it. So that's what's cool about doing tests. Somebody on the internet that has an opinion that thinks this, that, or the other, really, at the end of the day, the people funding it and doing it can do what they do. And the person who is trying to reject it won't have a say unless they're paying for it and doing it themselves. So I'm not trying to say that somebody shouldn't have a say or anything like that. I'm just saying that that's what's cool about just the test would stand on its own. So just by doing it. But I mean, I don't know all the contentions of what Cole's saying, but I mean, I hear the idea of the flexing. I think that potentially could be an issue. That's why I was talking about doing it with metal. I know it sounds intense, but like pour hot metal into a trough and then let the metal harden.
Nah, I
That'll
don't agree
flex.
with that.
That'll even flex too, though.
Yeah,
Gio.
that'd flex way worse. It's non-buoyant. I mean, that's when you mentioned that, Gio, I was like, I tried correcting you on that. But
Or a
either way,
solid piece of granite over sand, right? And then you just
Like,
swipe away a little bit of sand to turn it 90 degrees. You just swipe bits of sand on each pass. You know what I'm saying? You go up and down the thing 1,000, 10,000 times, just a little bit of sand, little bit of sand. And before you know it, the thing's sideways. That's the story of how they used to move obelisks in Egypt.
yeah, but
Shit.
when you got
anything that's a half mile long and is really narrow compared to its
a
length,
big issue.
even granite will lay over a very slack curve, and not break.
All right, how about this?
Nothing is perfectly rigid.
Radius cylinder on its side, right? You draw
Now
a plumb line. You draw a plumb line on the face of it, and then just turn the cylinder. Roll the cylinder.
Like something more solid like that would be much more likely to maintain rigidity enough to
Like a solid cylinder piece of
result.
granite, 5 stories high.
If you could do it, I mean, possibly, I would think. But it definitely a long, skinny, pipe-like object made out of anything will bend and flex over a half mile and not break if it's just a very gradual bend.
Yeah, sorry, I had to deal with the gardener. I don't know. I feel like I kind of have to do like a visual tutorial to kind of establish what's being said here to diminish any of these notions that Cole's laying out, because it just seems like that's the only way to really get it through. But I don't know. Your comment with the molten lava, Geo, like really makes me question if I'm getting through to anybody now. I don't know. It's just where I'm at.
What's that for the water thing?
Oh, God. Thank you. A voice of clarity. What's up, Anchovy?
What? Some people don't get
How
it,
you
or
doing?
what?
No, not even in the slightest fucking bit, bro. It's weird. I don't get it. I don't know what's going on.
Well, when I joined in, I heard him talking about the bend,
Yeah,
which is I think would be fine, so much as it's less than the bend you expect, right?
Well, he seems to think no matter what, it's going to be inconclusive because this thing's just, it's going to bend. Like it's some sort of like wibbly wobbly thing that has no rigidity to it. I'm trying to make sense of his scrutiny, but it's just not adding up. Like I've already clearly stated, I'm not rotating this thing 180 degrees. It's only going to be rotated 90 degrees. And even if I grant him the bend, it's the bend in that axis isn't going to diminish the results of the relationship between the two halves. It's just, it's not.
And I keep saying, I know you're bending it 90 degrees. I know you're just laying it on its side. But something a half mile long, I don't care what you make it out of, will be a wibbly wobbly thing. It'll be like a noodle. You should know that.
No, if it did any
You're
sort
talking
of
about
noodle,
something a half mile long that
yeah,
is
if it did,
basically narrow compared to its length, like a pipe.
if it did any sort of wiggly stuff, Cole, the whole fucking thing would fall apart.
Have you ever watched them
Can't,
put down rail on a railroad? They use solid steel rail. that's like
Yeah,
6
but
inches thick, something that you would think there's no way that could bend. All right, they use really long pieces. They don't put it down in 6 foot lengths. They put it down in like 200-foot lengths. It
I
lays
get
on
it.
top of several flat train cars, but as they pull it off the back, it literally just bends
I
right
get it,
over and then
and
right lays
I've
on the ground.
conceded to that, Cole. I've already conceded to that.
All
So
right, so
you keep
ice
again.
is
You're
does the
being a
same thing.
strawmanizer. You're being a strawmanizer again.
I'm sorry you don't get it, but ice does the same thing. And this is, I don't see how in words you're saying I'm building a straw man when I'm physically talking about something bending and something in a pipe bending, which is your experiment.
Okay, metal
Well,
can bend at extreme rates without shattering and completely tearing itself apart. Whereas something like ice, right, you can only bend it so far and twist it so much before the thing fucking crumbles and
Right. That's
shatters
right.
and completely just breaks apart. Okay.
That's right. Okay, you're not laying it around a basketball dice low. The curvature of the earth is very slightly curved, extremely. So
I,
when you lay it on its back and it's got that very slight curve to it, when you roll it over 90 degrees onto its side, it's not going to be laying there shaped like a banana laying on its side. It's simply going to bend to the shape of the earth and be in the same orientation, only laying
right,
on its
right.
side.
And I granted you that. I granted you that, but it still doesn't affect the relationship of the surface between the two surfaces. It's bending in the other axis. I'm not concerned about that axis. This is the part you're not getting.
It's not going
I've
to
already
bend in any
granted
other
it to
area.
you. I've granted it to you, but you're still not getting it.
No, it's going to lay in the same footprint, exactly the same footprint, only now it's going to be on its side instead of on its back.
yeah, but Cole, you okay, so you understand what he's saying though, that when he puts the two pieces up together, what you're talking about won't affect that.
If they don't maintain the shape of the curve when you put them up against each other, you're not going to find anything out because they're going to look the same as they did when they're laying on their back. They're not going to be bent like a banana laying on its side. You're not
They'll
going to
be bent
see
how?
anything.
Because here's my thing though. How are you expecting them to be bent? Because I mean, when we're talking about gravity, it's just going to bend one way, right? It's not going to bend like
What
a up and down.
you're talking about a half mile slight curve, very gradual curve, half mile long is what he said. So if it's that slight over that distance, even if you pour liquid water and what do you say, sawdust in it, and make piecrete and freeze it hard as a rock, over that much distance, in its footprint that it's laying over that slight curve, when you roll it over on its side 90 degrees, it's going to maintain that same footprint. It's not going to lay over like a banana.
I mean,
That's just
all I'll
what
say
long
is
objects do. I'm sorry, go ahead.
all I'll say is even if that's true, what he can do is just take the biggest deviation along the path and see if it matches Earth curve.
I'll speak up for a second. Yeah, so I lifted weights in high school, and I've done a deadlift where I felt the bar bounce like a cross or like a bow and arrow bow. And I've also seen other people do it. So what he's saying kind of does make sense, and I know that he's already agreed to it. But I also did flatbedding for a summer, and we carried some railroad tracks, and they kind of gave a little bit under their weight too. So yeah,
I'm
that's all I
I'm
got. I'm sorry.
I'm
I
not
know that we're all in agreement here.
I'm not trying to defeat the experiment. I would love to see you do the experiment. All I'm doing is just telling you what I see with it. I'm not trying to say it's stupid. I'm not trying to defeat it. I'm not trying to say you shouldn't do it or anything else. I'm just telling you from the experiences I have of the things I've done in my life. These are the things that the problems I would see with the experiment that you would have to, figure out how to overcome.
Are you sending? Are you saying the bending will be wavy though? I'm not confused. I'm confused what you're getting at.
No, I'm saying the shape that it lays in when it's on its back, when you roll it over on the side, it's going to be in the same footprint with the same shape. It's not going to roll. If it's bent like a frown when you harden it, you're not going to lay it over on its side and see a curve laying on its side. It'll just be the same frown shape, only now it'll be on its side and it'll lay in the same footprint. You're talking about something a half mile long that's a pipe. No material is rigid enough to withstand a very gradual bend over that distance that's pipe shape.
It would just snap. It wouldn't lose its shape.
No, it wouldn't snap. That very gradual bend over that distance, it wouldn't snap at all.
You're saying ice is going to go from one bend to another.
Yes. Just
Without
like when you
cracking.
just like when you watch a truck, a 18-wheeler drive across an ice lake. Okay, it creates a wave in front of it on the ice. The ice literally ramps up in front, and it don't bust, it don't break, it don't crack. It just follows the shape of the wave that's created from the weight of the truck as it moves across the lake. And then as it moves on, that ice literally goes up, bends over the top of that wave and back down flat, and that wave literally carries in front of that truck all the way across. That ice bends in front of that truck all the way across the lake. That's a problem that they talk about, because when you get close to shore, if you don't slow down and allow that wave to dissipate, when it hits the bank, that will crack and you'll crash through the water about 10 foot from the shore. So they have to make certain that they slow down before they get to shore to make that wave settle. And it's the ice bending. You can see it if you watch like that goofy show Ice Road Truckers. They showed it. You can see the ice literally bending in front of the truck as the truck moves along. Nothing is rigid.
Definitely not steel dumbbells or railroad tracks. But I think that's why we use them to make bridges and buildings, is because they give a little. If bridges were completely rigid, then an earthquake would just come crack the shit out of it. But if we allow a little bit of give and bowing, and then that makes like a perfect bridge. It's a little harder to destroy.
However, I grew up on
I couldn't deadlift that weight anymore. I don't know. I don't think I could. I don't even remember how much it was. Go ahead.